Nah, no music. That's fine. Cool. So since we're here,
That's me.
just for the record, I guess it's for now. Actually, we're officially doing the discussion. Um, so I'm Joseph. I do the stream rarely. I am a game design student and I work in quality assurance. So we're going to be discussing the ethics of game announcements, delays, and particularly what happened with Dream Daddy Simulator and why it got delayed the day of release, and why there wasn't any discussion or information about that earlier on. So Lewis, could you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, it's me, your boy.
It's
Lewis.
ATwerkingYoshi.
It's me. I go on the internet by ATwerkingYoshi. I did a lot of game development in college, and my focus was game development. But I was lame, and I got a degree in computer science. I guess I work in quality assurance. I don't really know how to explain my thing, other than to people who know. I work in quality assurance, and
Yeah.
I've worked on projects before. This is a really interesting topic because I just heard about what happened to Dream Daddy, and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Huh? That doesn't make any sense." But I guess we can discuss about that later.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up their Twitter and let's just bring up the big thing that happened. So
Are you looking at the? Oh, I see. I see what you're.
yeah, I'm pulling it up. So I believe yesterday, at midnight, I guess, right? Yes.
Yeah, it looks like midnight.
They tweeted, "Hey, we're sorry we weren't able to get the game out tonight. Here's a note from I believe the creative director Vernon, explaining in detail."
Hmm.
And so let's see. They said that today was supposed to be the release day. We had been working under crunch conditions for the past 3 weeks, so crunch is pretty normal. Trying to get the game polished, and going into today, we all felt confident that we could release the game to you. As we went and later, we went later into the day, it became more apparent with more late game bug discoveries that this wasn't a version that we wanted to release. So they've delayed it. I believe it's coming out in 5 days from now, or
I think
yesterday.
was it June 19th? Yeah, it's on Steam somewhere. I believe it's June 19th.
Okay, so let's talk about this. There was some backlash. A lot of fans were not
Yeah,
they were not happy about
understandably.
it.
Yeah, it's understandable backlash.
However, we kind of came late to it, and so I actually have not seen any of the backlash. But it's a lot of people that are supporting them, trying to defend them. Good on them.
Good on them.
fans.
Yeah.
So why would a game suddenly be delayed the day of?
Yeah, that's my biggest thing that I took from this was like, it's kind of. I don't see it professionally, or just in general. Why would something be delayed on the day it's supposed to come out, other than it being chalked up to what do you call it?
Hey,
Hey, what's up, Akuka? Other than it being chalked up to do just poor management or just poor design practices, you know what I mean? Like, I understand things need to be delayed. I'm not saying like things have to be on time, but it also doesn't make any sense to say something's going to come out one day and then the day of, not even the night of, but like apparently 6 hours later, to say like, hey,
Right.
it's not coming out today.
Right.
Like I can understand the backlash because of that.
Okay.
And what was the reason for it again? They said it was a late game bug discovery.
Right. So because you've worked in quality assurance, what's a thing that so it's called a showstopper, something that's so
Yeah.
bad that you
It's
cannot
so
release
bad
the
that
game.
like, oh my goodness, don't put it out there.
So why do you think that they wouldn't have found that showstopper until the end?
Oh,
or what could it have been? Not why. Let's talk about that. What kind of
Yeah, what
showstopper
could
could that have been?
Yeah, it's like regardless of what the showstopper is, I think there are multiple reasons why it happened. I guess the biggest thing to me is that they didn't content log, and for people who don't know what that means, I believe it in the industry, it's like you stop working on the game, like straight up, we're done, nothing else is going in, and I'm assuming since they didn't content lock until the day of the game, or near the date it's supposed to come out, they didn't find the late game bug.
Yeah.
And that's like, to me, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I've ever once in my dev stuff just like, oh hey, we should keep working on the game until the day before. Usually you want to content, like I've been in projects where the content log comes later than the deadline, but not nowhere near the release date.
Yeah,
Like,
and I know there was a little bit of sketchiness because they had done a stream with Game Grumps. Game Grumps
yo, yeah,
produced
that's
a
what I
game,
heard.
and they did the stream the night before, I think.
And it's just
Um,
like I can let me find the tweets. Yeah, keep going. Sorry,
yeah,
let me
yeah, yeah,
find
yeah.
the tweet.
And if you want to link it to me so I can throw it on screen, I'd be
Oh
more than
yeah,
happy to.
definitely. If you actually click on the let me actually link it to you on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
stream. If you click on the post, the Dream Daddy post with the big text box picture.
yeah.
If you look at the replies, people were mentioning that.
Let's see. Let's see. You all sound quite entitled, which is a thing that a lot of people have been saying. For anyone
I
that
don't know
for
what
anyone
that means, but-
for anyone that wasn't happy about the release schedule, apparently
Yeah.
you're entitled.
You're
Oh,
entitled?
okay.
You're-
Although I will say this, if you feel the need to criticize people where it's like a personal thing or it's like an attack, that is a bit of entitlement. However, I do think that like objectively we can all say that when you set out and promise a certain date that something is released,
Oh, yeah.
that should be something that should be expected. And if there is a delay, you mention it
should.
maybe a quarter or a couple quarters ahead of time. I mean, this isn't a AAA
4
title.
hours before or 4 hours after, not 6. You know, let's just give them that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
look,
Oh, yeah.
like for real though, like not trying to dumpster on this game.
Oh, yeah, I'm not trying to.
This is really just a good example or a good reason to talk about something like this in term because like the main thing about this talk is really what are the ethics behind meeting deadlines, and this game is a perfect example. It's very relevant. It's fresh in our minds, and I felt like this would be something good to talk about. I'm really proud of you. That's another thing going on right now.
Oh, you saw that thing too. Yeah, like I'm not here to rag on them. Like
No,
I think
no,
it's
no,
a game
no.
of two, and I understand freaking games are hard. People don't realize that
I can't
games
find it.
are hard to make. That's one of the biggest. Like, I wish there were more game development classes in school. 'Cause, like,
You know
maybe-
what's funny is like I'm in a game design program and I'm
Yeah.
graduating next semester. We never have a single class about scoping or project.
No.
Like we have a project
No.
management class, but like there's never like talking about something called vertical slice, where we cut down the middle, we figure out what the game's about, and content locks, and then meeting certain goals. And if we don't meet the goals, you got to learn to cut and scrape the fat right off, so you can make sure the game at least releases in its like full form.
Games cost money, man, and every time we go over deadline,
Yeah.
it's more money that has to be put into it.
And I'm assuming that's why they're really pushing for that. Maybe that the end of that month. Okay, so how about this? Let's talk about this. Why would they make that their release date? So sometime in
Yeah.
late June. I think there's the YouTube videos in June 18th. The Grump Out had posted a Dream Battery teaser trailer. I'll just kind of play it in the background.
Yeah, I think I just saw it. Yeah, it should be on the Kotaku article.
Right.
Yeah, I believe it is June 18th. Available July
Yeah.
13th. The
And-
first line in the description of the video.
Yeah, so they did their marketing campaign about a month before release. So why
Which
do
is fine.
why would they do that though? Like why would is it because they were doing an aggressive marketing campaign? Because like the whole like daddy thing, like it's all memed out, so it's hot. It's the thing to talk about. It's funny. It's honestly really funny.
Good idea.
And
I like it.
and like dude, it's goofy. When you make a like dating sim, like that's kind of become the hot thing. Like they're like a dime a dozen. And so, oh god, I just kind of stay
Yeah,
right
like
here.
anything to stay out of like the group is great. My opinion is that they probably just did a month release or a month day after the title just to keep the hype going. Like I understand, I like it when games do that. But I wonder what on the back end was about. Like, hey, are you sure you can make it by this deadline? Because when I found out that they were doing 3 weeks of crunch before the release date, I was
Right.
like, wait a minute, that's not. I could have told you that about how that's a bad idea. I
Right.
think a lot of people can tell you that's a bad idea.
So
and crunch, not fun. Like, understandable you have to do it, but it's really not fun.
yeah, and on their Twitter they said they weren't sleeping, and that's not
No,
BS. That's
No, it's not BS. So
that happens every time.
Like when I did 80-hour weeks for like a month, I like literally had to go to the hospital because my heart was just not taking it anymore. So that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
I was just like-
I had to work 60-hour weeks for about 5 weeks straight. you
Yeah.
know. And you know what? That's not bad. Some like, and I'm not even a developer professionally. Professional developers are in crunch mode for like months on end. My buddy, he's at id. He does 3D modeling, and he was in crunch mode for 4 months.
Yeah.
He was working on Doom, and before Doom came out, he was just nonstop working. I never saw him. So no, seriously, and this is a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
And
Like,
so,
I didn't see any of my friends for. Like,
do you think
weeks
that
on end.
perhaps the release date was so aggressive because that's when the budget ended? You know, like because that's as much money as they're willing to pay for. Because every day that you have this game not released is money you have to spend because these guys have to eat. You have to pay them their salary.
I mean, I don't know if money was an issue. I don't want to make assumptions, but
No,
as far as my background is on like
none of this is
creating
factual.
dating sims. Yeah, none of this is factual.
Yeah, none of this is factual.
I'm
This
just
is
saying,
just
based on
anecdotal
past
evidence.
experiences.
Excuse me.
Like, I don't think like dating sims in general aren't. Everything's the level of difficulty is different for everybody. But from my past experience, dating sims aren't hard to make, at least on the programming side. So
There was a lot. There were a lot of artists that were contracted, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I believe if it's a bug issue, it was more of a programming
It
issue
is,
though.
I'm pretty sure it's
less
like a
so
gameplay
like
or
a visual asset.
But I'm assuming it might just be an issue of indie devs don't know how to scope, and I can contest that because I messed up on scoping many times in my past. So
Yeah, I've learned to aggressively scope where I just assume I can't make anything. Just make the main game, and any features that you can figure out along the way, you just do that.
I used to be president of the game developers program at UNT.
Well, the IGDA, or was there just its own thing?
It was his own thing. It was like
Okay.
pretty much the college had a game development just student led thing. And like
Okay.
I can tell you firsthand, like that's the first thing people learn. It's like, hey, you can't make that crazy awesome big game you want to make because you're not scoping right.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's what happened here, because when if you're announcing this release date, and you're still working on it, that's not good. Your scope's wrong. You didn't plan out things correctly.
So for them to find a bug like this at the end, so I'm gonna like shift the conversation
yeah.
as
No,
to
that's fine, that's fine.
as finding a showstopper. Do you? Okay, so like we're biased because we work on the quality assurance side of things. Wait, I mean we're in different departments, but
Yeah, but like,
we do work in making sure the game looks right and that it fits the spec that the designers and the creative director and all of them want. For them to find a showstopper this late, do you think that they possibly have not been testing the game
Yes,
as much as they should have?
if they were testing the game, I don't know anything else to say than it's just poor testing. Like, there's no way.
So, could you explain like what good testing would be for a game like this? So let's just break down what a dating sim game is. Ultimately, it is a series of choices. It's a giant state machine. You're keeping track of the things that you've said,
Yeah.
probably like the relationship level, the between characters, which are all just
Might have some-
numbers.
Yeah, you might have some global variables that you're keeping track of through the whole
Right,
game.
and then you'll have like little mini games, but like they're kind of inconsequential. They're black boxed, and then out comes an output of like some value, or you've gained relationship or money or whatever.
I mean, that's
So like in
yeah.
terms of like testing for this stuff, how what would be considered good testing about that? How about that? How would you consider like a good test plan? Like how would someone test this game well enough to where they could have found the showstopper much earlier, so they didn't kind of have this false sense of security walking into day one and going, "Oh shit, this game's
like,
actually not very good," or not very good, but like there's a bug that's really bad.
Yeah, it's like it'd be interesting if they let us know what the late game bug was, but they just didn't say it, which is fine. You don't really have to tell people
No.
that. But like the obvious, my plan would be one, at least to have one full playthrough. Just hey, sit down, have one person just do a golden path play, and by that I mean just not the quickest, but like what most users will probably do to get to the end of the game. And then there would have to be another pass where you just try to branch off into each different option and see if that just gets to the correct result.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
and like I said, I don't know the scope of this game. Like I said, I don't know anything about this game. That teaser trailer didn't really tell me anything.
Yeah, the trailer is interesting, right? So the promotional material. So like, I'm gonna use this.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
I'm gonna use this Kotaku article
Okay.
as an example. So like, it came out June 18th, same day as the trailer. I'm assuming their marketing campaign may have just been, hey, let's make this YouTube video.
Yeah,
Or-
no, it's fine.
Or it could have been like Game Grumps, the marketing team from there may have like gone out of their way to talk to like to Kotaku and all the like news outlets online. But it's like, this is all we have is that, hey, you get to date daddies, isn't that funny? Lol, it's a meme.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And then like, hey,
fair.
it's kind of regurgitating what's on the Steam page, and like there's not not really much in the game. I guess there's not really much content to show in terms of dating sims in general.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's all interesting.
No, it's just like, I mean, I'm just biased because I've been burnt out by many. Oh, bless you. By many Kickstarter games that are like this, where it's just like, here's a cool idea, but no gameplay and just nothing to show out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, but since we know it's a dating sim, it's going to follow some tropes regardless. So you can kind of expect what it's supposed to be like, and they have screenshots.
Yeah,
so,
like
but,
dating
I don't
sims
know
are
if there's
all.
anything. Yeah, they're all the same. Well, not all the same.
Well, no, not the same. But like, you know, you go into walking into it like watching like a really raunchy comedy with like Seth Rogen or something like that. Like you know, it's just like, you know what you're walking into. So you know,
yeah, so,
if you're into that game, that's what it is. You know.
So I can't make the like. I would say that they just didn't test the game because I don't think there's anything more than just not even branching past. You just have different talking points. Like you pick an option and there's just a response. I don't think there's any like mini games or let me read the scope. There's multiple endings per dad.
Oh, okay.
So voice, yeah. There's art pinups, I guess, a score. Dad theme, mini, and micro games throughout each path. So what does that mean?
Like, you know, like if like, oh god, I dropped the baby, and the mini game is that you have to catch the baby every time it's dropped or something stupid like that. Like,
see, I don't know, because like
you could play Pong or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, play the game against the girl that you like or the guy that you like. You know.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't think Dream Daddy tells you what that is. It just says we got mini games, I guess, micro games. So maybe there might be bugs in that.
Yeah.
But either way, like at the end of the story, it just wasn't. It's really weird, to me at least, to find a late game showstopper the day it was released.
So maybe for me, it seems like the showstopper is not as simple as maybe one bug, but a series of bugs because they said 5 days. Whether or not that happens is, you know, up to them. But 5 days does make it seem like it's kind of a smaller issue. But as a game developer I know said that when you're fixing and polishing a game, it's like a game of whack-a-mole. You hit one and another one comes up.
Screw up. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and that's what crunch is for, really, because that's what happens. And when you're crunched out, it's easy for you to slip up because you're tired.
Oh, of course, yeah. When you're working like 60 plus hours a week, like doing the same thing over and over, you can go like, yeah, they were talking about sleep deprivation and like not being able to sleep, and that happens.
Yeah.
And we're not here to say like, yo, that's your fault. That's just like, it happens in the gaming industry. It sucks. It usually ends up because of poor planning, but you can't really plan for stuff like this, you know?
Yeah. I definitely think that they didn't scope for testing.
Oh no. I don't know how big the team is. All I see is 2 people.
I'm always like, oh yeah, they didn't have enough QA or QA is not very good, but it's like, you know, that's a luxury for smaller developments or developers. I mean, everyone's wearing multiple hats, and it's kind of up to everyone to test the game. Which is kind of a harsh truth in smaller game development.
It's the price you pay for doing everything on your own. But there are benefits to that. No one's controlling or no one's telling you what to do.
Of course, yeah. Now, Vernon Shaw, do we know if he has been involved in game development before? I know he works with Game Grumps.
He works for Game. I'm trying to figure out. He's got 56,000 followers, so I'm just like, so what does he do on Game Grumps? I'm trying to figure out.
I'm pretty sure he's like one of the content managers or something like that.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out if they have worked on anything, because that's another big thing with indie games.
I'm not trying to like dig up dirt, but like, you know,
no.
but this could be a case of someone that had not a lot of experience in game development. One of his things that he tweeted was that he's upset that he's not going to be with the team. Okay, here we go. So, regarding lack of communication, we were nose down, trying to get it finished till a few hours ago. We were confident we could do. Unexpected things happen in game development. It simply wasn't ready to go out. So I think that when you say unexpected things happen, well, okay, that's always true. But maybe he just didn't have the experience or the understanding that things like that will happen.
Yeah. It's like a very common trend with YouTube funded or just YouTubers making games. Like, y'all remember Yawcast, right? Let me tell you about
what happened with Yawcast.
Oh boy.
Send me a link. Or keep talking about it, but send me a link.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, all I got out of it was, "Hey kids, y'all like our videos, right? So let's make a video game."
Oh snap!
They're like, "Oh crap! Wait a minute. None of us know how to make video games.
Uh,
Thanks for your money. See you later."
did they not have a
Like,
single like experienced
they
developer work
hired
on the game?
somebody, but like when you, like I said, it's a case of when you where is it at? It's a really good, like when you're popular on one platform and you want to do something in a different platform, and it just comes back down to scope again. Like, if you have never made a game before, it's going to be really hard to make your first game. And okay, I'm trying to figure it out. Y'all cast indie game controversy.
Let's see.
Yeah, how a successful Kickstarter lost $500,000. That's a good way to start it off, right,
That
guys?
sucks.
But for this case, I'm not ragging on anybody. Like, hey, you have to make your first video game somehow, you know?
Well, you don't always have to make it public. There's a saying. There's a saying for every.
But I mean, it's a cool idea.
Oh, savage! Hold up. Someone said
Hell yeah.
scopes. We talking about PUBG.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. This is
the four times scope, baby.
like, at least the Dream Daddy situation isn't as bad as the Yawcast situation. And to me, what made that situation worse, I saw it coming, but the amount of like blind following fans, that's a weird hive mind thing. I don't like. There's like, it's okay that they screwed us over. We still like your videos. And I'm like, no, don't say that. They took your money, didn't know what they were doing, and like there were actual indie developers doing really good, and they just can't get this money because they don't have the background, or they don't have an audience as big as like Yawcast or something.
Yeah, that's a fair thing to say.
And it was, but like Dream Daddy, and I guess bringing it back. What is this looking at? Like, I guess the biggest controversy from this isn't like they were taking people's money and just going
no,
away.
because it wasn't Kickstarter, because I believe Game Grumps produced the game. Which, hey, good on them. You know, I want to say that I really like that they expand and they really push for like other parts of the media. The good part is that the game is coming out though, dude, and that's true. Completely agree with that. We're definitely not ragging on them. You know, really, it's just why did this happen? And
it's I wouldn't say sketch, but it is very strange that
the day of,
like if it was like, sorry, if it was like maybe the day before or a couple days before, that's fine. But like all I can see from this, my assumption, because I don't know what actually happened, is that they were working on it till the release date, which is a no-no, straight up a no-no.
Yeah.
And like
content law, baby.
That's just poor. That's poor. Yeah, that's poor planning, poor scoping.
Yeah, it is.
I'm looking at the comments because I wouldn't say drama, but I love
reading the dirt. Hey man, who doesn't like reading the dirt in YouTube comments or Twitter?
Well, it's just like to see what other people feel about things, because it's very important to see it from two sides.
And I will say that the type of people that are attracted to this game, or the type of audience that they've created, is very emotional, and so you are getting a lot of very emotional responses to some of the criticism or to some of the things that Vernon or some of the other developers are saying. So
yeah, like I'm looking at the text, the big text picture reply, and it seems like the arguments that I'm seeing are, hey, why did it take you 6 hours after it's supposed to come out to say it? Which is fair. That's totally understandable. I wouldn't consider that professional, but whatever. And the second one is, I don't like this argument, but the argument of like, hey, would you rather have a buggy game when it comes out or a polished game?
Oh, dog.
That comes out later.
Oh, dog. That
that
was me. Hold up. That was me replying to that. Okay, so this is my little. Yeah. This is my little correct. 5 seconds of fame. So this is one of the. This is one of the moderators for some of the game. The.
Oh, can you link me that? Just like put in the chat or something. Just link me what you're referring to.
No, I got it on the stream actually.
Oh, I see you. There it is.
I got it on the stream. Yeah, you good, man. So what happened was one of the biggest things. So this person was very emotional, understandable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had a lot invested in it, and they didn't like hearing the negativity.
No, yeah.
With most, so there's this phrase, and this actually leads into my big question. So this is a thing that a lot of people that aren't involved in game development may think. And it says with game development, you get two things. A, you get a Russian bugged as fuck, aka Bethesda, which I'm gonna get into that in a second.
It happens, all right.
No,
All right.
and two, I said A and two, and two,
Good job.
it's delayed and good, aka like everyone else. Which these are very subjective statements, which I don't think there's a lot of truth to it. And so I replied. I couldn't stay my tongue for a moment, and I said it's more complicated than that.
Yeah, of course
So-
it's more complicated. There's no way.
So explain. So I can talk all day, but I have you on here. So explain why that's not true. Why is it not
Yeah.
as simple as rushed equals buggy and delayed equals better?
Yeah, well, from a programming standpoint, just because you delay something doesn't mean you can fix it. Like, that's just. Have you ever gone to put your card like to get fixed? Sometimes it just takes longer because hey, something else comes up. Or, like, hey, they found something else. You can fix one thing, then the system you're working on could have screwed up another system that it was tied to.
I will
That's happened to
say
me a lot. And I'm like, oh crap, I gotta fix another fire that I just put up.
I will say
I'm like-
that Blizzard has spoiled us.
Yes, there are a lot of good game companies that scope well.
They scope well, and Blizzard will
Uh-huh.
wait as long as they can because they make what we call Blizzard money.
They make that good
They,
stuff.
no, they make so much money that they can afford to wait, and so they can delay releases. But actually, they don't even delay. What they do is they don't announce until they know it's ready, which is something that they could have done with this game. They could have waited until they knew for a fact that the game was ready, and maybe they did because it sounded like they did. And
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, yeah,
this
maybe-
was this was just a harsh lesson that they had to learn.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm
Like,
sure
not
I'm going to
saying-
learn as I become a developer in the future, but you know,
Yeah, I'm not saying they purposely did this and was like, oh, that would be a really good scandal. But like,
No.
they weren't like, yeah,
No.
we're gonna delay this on date. No, they probably have found some issues. Now, I believe they can fix it.
of
Like I
course,
said, I still don't know what the game's about. I don't know how they're programming things. I don't know how they're doing things on the back end. But I don't like the tweet, rushed and bug as fuck, aka Bethesda. Let me
Okay,
tell you
so-
the difference between a dating sim and an open world quest-based game.
let me
or
bring up
whatever.
let me bring up the argument that Bethesda is rushed. I don't think they are.
I don't
I
think they are.
I think that the game is so large that you cannot
Too many systems to keep track of, dude. There's no way.
you cannot make the game quote perfect. The Witcher was the same way. The Witcher I think is one of the most fantastic overworld games that's ever been released, but unfortunately, even that game had a lot of bugs. But that's because there's a lot of systems comparatively to a dating
Yeah.
sim. So let's
No,
see.
no.
We got a comment.
I'm not trying to excuse them.
No.
That's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy though. He said that they were expecting to finish in 6 hours before release. That's way too. No, it is.
Yeah. That's not.
That is.
We did that where we worked at. Fired.
That is. That is.
no,
No.
incorrect.
You cannot do
That
that.
happens sometimes. Like when I was working Crunch, it was because we had deadlines coming up. But like,
But the thing is, our deadline was like 2 weeks before like game release. Like.
yeah, and
So we had 2
Well,
weeks to
well,
finish, like, to
2
put out
weeks
any extra
before, like-
fires or anything like that.
yeah, like
Whoa.
it happens. I know, but at the same time, it's just like you. But it wasn't like we're making more content. It's just it was already content locked.
Yes. So
just like,
content.
hey,
so
you gotta
content
make
lock is anytime a series of features, story, maybe like a crafting system. All those features, whatever's in it, gets locked. You cannot add any. If anything, you can take away, and that's all you can do. So you cannot
Oh, yeah,
change those things.
Can't add
all,
any. Yeah, it's just to make sure.
all that you can do after a
Before-
content lock is polish.
Yeah, is to say, hey, we're not gonna jeopardize the whole project by adding something that could be more bugs, even though it might be needed into the project itself. It's just like, hey, the deadline's coming up.
It could be a
This
day
is
one.
the best we got. Yeah, we can do a day 1 patch, day 30 patch, but at this point of the game, we can't add anything else. And that was, yeah, like Helio said, it's not. I don't understand. That's not a good excuse of like, hey, we finished it 6 hours before release, because that's not. You should never try to do that in any or any sort of medium. You know what I mean? Unless it's like a game jam, but this isn't a game jam.
No.
No, yeah, and like that's why I don't like. I guess at Miss Deer's Face's comment, where it's like Russian bugged as fuck. Like it comes to the fact that people don't know how game development works. Like there is a
Yeah,
big
and-
difference between a dating
me-
sim and an open world game. You know what I mean?
I'm not putting this person up here to put him on
Oh no,
blast.
no. I
This
just don't like
is-
the argument.
But the thing is, this is illustrating, just like the game is the public's understanding of how game development works.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And also, so let me ask you this: because game development's hard, we've brought up so many issues that can come up with developing a game.
Mhm.
Because game development is hard, do they get a pass on criticism?
Oh no. Well, it depends. I'm biased because I know what it takes to make a game. But
Well,
like,
and I
I
think
feel
that's
like,
why I can ask you. I mean, I think you're a much better developer than I am. I think you've
yeah,
made more games than me.
it's just like everyone. Criticism is okay as long as it's constructive
Yes.
and as long as you can
Yes.
back up your claims. I don't. I'm not a big fan of most reviewers and critics because a lot of them don't know what goes on behind the scene, which is fine. I don't expect everyone to take classes and figure out what's going on, but it's really weird to me in the gaming industry that it's one of the biggest industries in entertainment, but not a lot of people know how it like functions. You know what I mean? Like you can talk to people about how cars work. Everybody uses cars,
Yes.
but like when it comes to game development, like I remember watching one reviewer. I'm not gonna put his name out here, but he was I think he was reviewing Tekken, and he was like, "Why didn't they have a story mode like what was that other game? Oh, why didn't they have a story mode like Injustice 2?" And I was like, "That doesn't make any sense. Injustice 2 just came out. How would they know? How would they build a story system just like in a game that came out like a couple months beforehand?"
Yeah.
And like you know what I mean? Like reviewers, like it's good to have an opinion, but at the same time, they don't know what they're talking about most of the time. And it's just like whatever is presented to them, they grade it off of that as opposed to what goes on in the back end. So like everyone deserves criticism. Anyone can be criticized as long as it's constructive.
Yes. And it needs to
Like
come from a good place, I think.
it comes from a good place, and as long as you can back up your claims and not double down, but at least not sound like you're just making things up. And that's why I'm like, I'm not saying Mrs. Your Face is a terrible person. I'm just like, I just don't like that argument of delayed and good means great. Because we can. What's the? Do you have any games that were delayed and it came out bad? I'm trying to figure out. There were Mighty Number 9 was a good one. Y'all remember how delayed?
Wait, did someone ask you that?
No, I'm just looking based
Oh.
off of Mr. Your Face's or argument of like delayed and good is fine.
Oh, yeah, Mighty Number Nine's garbage.
Yeah, that game was
No
terrible.
one was happy, and what's funny is I'm a big Keiji Inafune fan too, and
Yeah,
it
me
made me
too.
really
I was
sad
like,
to hear about that.
Rest in peace, Mega Man. One of my favorite game series.
Well, what's that one game, Gunvolt or whatever? I'd all these famous guys.
That's us, famous dudes.
Who this?
But,
Who this? I did 31. I did 30. I
Yeah,
don't even know.
Like the case of Dream Daddy.
Yeah, no,
It's like,
exactly.
it's like it's you can criticize it. Like if you're looking to pay for a game and it gets delayed, it is okay to say like, hey, what the heck, man? Like I'm going to be upset because I wanted this service that I'm about to pay for, and like professional or not, having it like it's like a pizza thing. I think I was explaining to you earlier. Like let's say I ordered a pizza. I'm not
That's
saying
right, man.
making pizza is just like game development. There is a lot of pizza involved in both, but hey,
It's
you order
true.
pizza. It's been an hour, and you're like, hey, it's been an hour. It says it's going to be here by this time, and they're like, hey, we're going to have to give it to you 2 or 3 hours later. We're running up in problems. You would be upset, right? Like straight up. Like I don't think there's one person. That's happened to me before. I waited 4 hours for pizza. If it wasn't for the fact that I forgot about it, I would have been real upset. But like, it. I wouldn't say they're about the same amount of work, but hey, if you say something's going to happen on this date, and you have to delay it, like you can get criticized for it. That's fair. It's fair for people to be upset about it. Like it does suck. You're on crunch for whatever 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but it's also like it happens. But at the same time, you have to be able to take the criticism. Like I'm reading the replies on the big old tech screen thing again, and the one that rubs me wrong is by Dean Dobbs. I don't know what he does. I'll look him up later. But he pretty much said everybody who's complaining about it. The quote is, "You all sounded quite entitled to be honest. You'll get your game eventually, and it'll be a better product because of it. Let the guys rest." And I'm like, I don't know why he's calling everybody entitled. I do agree with the fact that like, hey, hopefully there's a better product coming out, but and let them rest, of course. But I don't think anybody's entitled for complaining about this.
So, how about this? Is this acceptable if another company did this? If it wasn't just a indie company?
Company bias?
Well, yeah, maybe.
No, it wouldn't be.
Like
That's
because
the thing, like-
I will say that there's a big Game Grumps following, and good
Oh,
on
of
them.
course,
If
yeah.
they really like the stuff that they push, that's awesome. If it's good content, good content. But perhaps in another situation,
maybe
maybe this wouldn't be the same thing. Why don't we see these kind of big coalitions to defend developers but this is the case that it happens. So does it mean that we should always act this way every time development gets delayed, or it's not necessarily right?
No, it should be fair for everybody. We're all trying to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of company biases. Like, what's a good example? I remember that weird fiasco that happened. I think it was IGN or just some internet thing. Oh, the Xbox One versus the PS4 release. What rubbed me wrong with that is the Xbox One was supposed to be online always, right? Which is bad. DRM stuff, all that. And like you always have to be online and stuff like that. And that's bad. Everybody hated them for doing that. But the PlayStation 4, if I'm correct, you can't really do anything without an internet connection. And I'm just like, wait, why is it okay to beat up on Xbox for the same things that the other company does? Is it because the other company made fun of them first about it? Like, I have to look back into it. But there are so many cases where it's just like, if one company does this thing, it's terrible. If another company does the same thing, it's
acceptable. It's okay.
It's acceptable. Like, I guess Nintendo versus any other company.
That might be the case because the company has had good history.
Yeah.
And context is key. Contextually, it may actually make sense. Hold up, we got a comment. So, yeah, nobody's mad because we don't think the game's coming out. Some people just change their schedules to play this game on release, specifically streamers.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, actually, which makes sense, especially with streamers. That stuff's really important.
Yeah, they were really focusing on giving free... I believe Dream Daddy was like, hey, if you're a streamer that wants to play it early, we'll give you beta codes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I also have no problems with games being delayed, too.
No.
This one just kind of rubs me weird because it was announced.
The day of is the day of delay is the weirdest thing I've ever seen or heard of. It's indie, so it's whatever, but like it's just weird.
Fine. Like, but at the same time, it's just kind of like I said. I just heard about this. Maybe if I was following it more, I'd probably have more insight. But like, yeah, and then what am I? Yeah, it is like say Nintendo compared to like Activision. To be honest, what are the differences between the Pokemon games that come out every year? You know what I mean? Like every other year. Not much. Still turn-based. Still kind of the same thing. You have like maybe a couple more things to do. There's a Tauros with an afro on it now. Like that's okay.
There's a Tauros with an afro.
If they put out another Call of Duty, which is the same thing, it's almost the same thing every year. That's like, ooh, this is gross. I'm like, yeah, that's terrible. Like Nintendo. Well, I want to say Nintendo fans, but I can tell by the Nintendo community they will always love what Nintendo puts out, even if it's something garbage like Star Fox Zero. Like if some other company did that, sorry, I didn't like it. I mean, it was really bad.
A lot of people didn't. You're
yeah,
right though.
It's like not good. You know what I mean?
This might be a more of a marketing thing. Maybe the marketing has.
Maybe marketing. I don't know.
Well, because I think we went over the point where was it a mistake for them to market this game so early, but with such an aggressive release date. You know, that was bad marketing. But maybe Nintendo is so good at marketing their games that, you know, bad things don't feel like delays don't feel so bad. Yeah, the controls weren't good. I hadn't played the game. I knew a lot of people didn't like
fantastic. But the controls, like, if I can't play your game with a weird setup, I'm like, in my background, I play with weird controllers. So I'm like, if I can't even play your game,
I don't know if
something's not right. Like,
I see Homeboy over here playing Dark Souls on a fishing controller.
Like, when Star Fox Zero, you had to use a gyroscope, and the Wii, like, it was so awkward just to shoot anybody. And I was like, that's the whole point of the game was.
Did you have to do that nonsense with the Wii U?
Yeah, like you had the point to shoot, but also fly. And the whole thing about Star Fox was like, not only is it like the game mechanics were like it was so polished, like it's one of the tightest like on-rail shooter I've ever played. And then you get to this, and you're like, I don't know how to hit anybody. So. I don't know. Yeah, there is a bias. I guess marketing-wise, bring it back to what you're talking about. I don't know how they market it. It's Game Grumps. All I know is that they said, "Hey, a month after we announced it's coming out," which is cool. That's great. Like when I think Fallout 4 did that. It's like, "Hey, it's coming out this year." That was cool. But like, hey, Fallout 4 was done probably by that time, or it was close to being content locked.
Oh yeah. I mean, the game was buggy as hell, but it's a quote Bethesda game. But I
It's
think,
okay. Like,
but it's the nature of the game that they made that makes it so buggy, not the fact that they haven't been working on it and rushing it.
oh no, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure they rushed it too.
Dude, can you imagine doing QA for that game? Like, hey, I found a bug. Congratulations.
Sorry, is it a game crash or not? Because we're gonna leave it.
Like, only thing we want is anything that's like a blocker, anything that'll break like player progression, and that's it.
Won't fix.
Yeah,
Yeah, there it
yeah,
is.
won't fix. Won't
Yeah.
fix. I'm sure the guys that work for ZeniMax that test those games are going fucking insane from all the won't fix and invalid bugs.
Oh man, I'm still reading all these comments.
Yeah, let's go.
It's just like like they said, there's two sides. One, they're both understandable sides too.
Yeah,
The one side that I agree with is, hey, why isn't this game out? Fair. The other argument, the other side is just like, hey, at least we're being professional. Told you. And I believe Dean Dobbs is double downing on what did he say? They were honest with you, and now you're getting more polished product as a result. How is this not professional? And I was like, I don't know what decides what something's professional or not, but doing a big to block statement 6 hours after release saying that the game's not ready, is that really professional? I mean, did they find it like 1 hour before the release date? Or what you know what I mean? Like I don't.
Yeah, like until a couple hours ago, we were confident, and I was like, wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah. So
Yeah, like, lol, what?
it's not a sketch.
Fucking some bugs or features. I remember when I got thrown
Oh,
800
yeah.
feet. Yeah, dude, when I got hit by that giant, I was like, what in God's name is happening right now?
When you're like 90 degrees off the face of a mountain with a horse, you're just like, it doesn't make any sense, but you're still walking down the mountain, and you're like, well, whatever.
Can you imagine if you bug something and the dev was like, oh, that's a feature, and you're like, or they're like, wait, that feature's still in the game? What?
All right, sure, man. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, there was a really bad comment. Greg, username one. I don't care if he needs rest. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. If he needed rest and the game wasn't done, but here's the second half of it. I don't care if he needs rest. If he needed rest and the game wasn't done, why didn't he delay it but streamed instead? So
was
what
he
I'm
on the
hearing
stream?
Is like, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah. I know the game. I know like Brian Wecht and all the other Game Grumps were streaming.
There was a stream though.
Yeah, the night before.
Yeah, and that's not good.
I mean, even if the developers are still working on it, it's kind of weird when it's like they're doing the promotional stuff and then the game doesn't even come out the next day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really sketch. I mean, I'm sure the game's gonna be fine. I'm sure it'll come out.
I hope so.
I definitely want to buy the game now just to see if I can find the bugs that are like, just stream the game and try to break it.
Oh yeah. Let's see, I'm trying to read. I don't know. It's like I said, it's interesting to see what people say about this. The biggest thing so far, Science, I don't know how to say his name. It's fine, but
it does.
It would have been appreciated that you would have noticed us sooner. Yeah, that's fair statement. Like, but we couldn't tell anyone. So Vernisol actually replied to this. We were trying our hardest.
Oh, hey. By the way, one of the so Amazing Hobbs, he's a streamer here.
Hey, what's up, dude?
He said that he can confirm that Vern was on stream.
Ooh.
And Agent X has given us Illuminati symbols. That's Jeremy.
Yeah.
How's Evo? How's Evo, bro?
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I'll do Evo one day.
No, dude, fucking hell yeah, dude. He goes.
I'm gonna
speak. What is it? Install the game without internet connection to find the day zero bugs.
Yeah, dude, that's my favorite. I didn't realize how like important day zero and day one bugs are until we had to do it ourselves, and I was like, oh, geez, that got through the door.
My partner in crime. My partner in crime sending tentacles with Illuminati out.
But yeah, so yeah, thank you for confirming Amaze Hobbs.
Yeah, hey Calvin, thanks. Actually, no, personally, hey Calvin, thanks for giving us that information.
That kind of turns some things around.
It just doesn't look good when the captain of the ship is off the boat while everyone else is still
drinking out. Yeah. Either way, that means if they didn't find somebody, I guess I'm bringing back QA wise, that it wasn't tested correctly, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, there were more. If there's only 2 people on the team, it's kind of understandable. But hey, this is just one big lesson of you should probably not crunch 3 weeks before the game releases, or
Lack of experience.
maybe
I think they scoped
lack
wrong.
of experience. Yeah.
I think they scoped wrong. They didn't realize that they had to check certain things, and that's why they had this false sense of security. That's my TLDR.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Like you need to, you can't. One thing about game development is you just have to do it. There's not. You can take classes and all that stuff. You go to full scale.
Dude, you
do all
can
that cool
you can
stuff,
read
but-
articles, man. Go on Gama Sutra. There's some great
Oh,
stuff by
so good.
producers, game designers,
Mhm.
programmers, you name it. They write great articles on there about game development, good practices, mistakes that they've made. I'm interested in production, and I've read a lot of producery stuff. And you'll get a good idea of how it's supposed to work, and then you're gonna see some red flags. Like
And
follow a Kickstarter. Follow a Kickstarter after reading a couple of those
yeah.
articles, and then you'll see all the issues.
There's not one good way to make a game either, but
No, it also depends on culture. That's a big thing. Bad culture within development group where people don't like each other, or they're upset, or
yeah.
or they're just bad at communicating, or they all think that they know what they're talking about. Nobody talks. Like small things like that can ruin a game. Even though if everyone's talented, it doesn't matter.
I am glad that a lot of the fans are hoping for them to get better, which is great. I hope they get
Good stuff.
better
Yeah.
as well. I hope the game comes. I think the game will be fine. It's gonna do fine. It's got so many indicators would die for the fact to have game grunts backing them up and having a fan base loyal.
Yeah. This becomes a big problem if they don't release on this Wednesday, like they say they are, though.
Oh, yeah.
Right now,
It-
not a huge deal,
it's
but
gonna be
but come
super
Wednesday,
sketch.
yeah, dude.
Like,
And
that's the point where I
that's
say
when
not-
like the Kotaku article comes out and IGN jumps in on it, and like all of the other
Well,
big like gaming news, because they'll be
it
like, wait,
was
what's
the-
going on?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why game developers want to talk about what bug it is, but it'd be really nice if they just say, "Hey, this is what's going on." It could be an end game. Well, it was an end game thing, right? Or
Yeah, this
game
was a
thing?
late game bug, and they
Okay.
could have been like, hey, there's a couple late game bugs where it would cause players to crash, and we didn't want to release that.
Ooh, gross. Oh well, I mean, like I said, if it doesn't come out Wednesday, super sketch. If people
Yeah, I'm waiting.
don't like my thing is, if anyone doesn't like what's going on, just don't purchase the game.
Yeah.
Be vocal about it. Like, or,
Dan!
what happened?
TSM life, bro.
TSM life.
Dan's in here. Just give me shit
Oh,
for my
man, that is-
jacket.
Crunch kills productivity is tired. Team can't work. That's one to know. Yes, good way to put it. The developer at who worked on Quantum Break was like, "Yeah, good luck. Get some rest. That's good." I like how he doesn't say anything about the development because he knows what's up. He's just like, "Yo, I know what it was like to play a game. I'm not going to talk about what the bugs were or anything."
Yeah.
And who's this? I wish, like I said, if I feel like these comments wouldn't be here if there's more awareness into how the games were made. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised in the future if
I'm gonna check his Tumblr.
there are more game development classes, because game development's gotten super
Oh.
easy over the years. Holy crap!
Dude, with visual scripting like Unreal 4 and
Mhm.
and even Unity supports a level of visual
Game Maker,
scripting. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
like-
Game Maker. I made like 8 Game Maker games. Like, and my partner in crime, Crybucks, she also has too. And it's a good engine. Hyperlight Drifter was made in there. You know.
Oh yeah. Like
They're all
it's
tools.
up to the creativity.
It's a tool in the chest, and it's up to you to do the best you can. You know.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to look at the profiles of these people.
Hey,
they're all good artists. What's up?
What do you wonder? What like if they're making an engine? Like what engine they're doing? Like Unity. I think Unity's pretty popular for people who want to make like dating sims and stuff.
Yeah, gaming like I was saying earlier, like the beauty of like games being so much easier to make. I'm trying to figure out if these two people, the people on the Dream Daddy team, have any experience in making games. It doesn't seem like it, but the fact that they were able to make a game is pretty cool. Like it seems like somebody with not a lot of experience is actually able to make a game that's probably going to do very well. And props to them for that. Like if this was done 10 years ago, oh man, is actually able to make like. And I'm like, I guess I'm trying to get to the point. Like, since making games are going to be easier and easier as time goes on, I really hope that classes in schools start talking about it, or have classes where you can learn about it.
Yeah.
Because
It's kind of in this weird area where like film is starting to become a legit like working in the film industry is like a legit thing, even though it was kind of like, considered as niche back in the day.
Yeah, like anyone with an iPhone can make a popular YouTube video or just a movie.
Yeah.
And the more like you see everybody, like I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like now that people know kind of what it takes to make a movie, I see better arguments. I see better reviews.
It feels like there's more of a skill and objectivity to it.
Yeah,
There is a
as opposed.
measure to be made because a lot of people in the past have made similar things. I think
Hmm.
games are getting there.
Oh yeah, like you can't just make a random dating sim anymore. Like Dream Daddy just showed like, hey, you can still make a dating sim, but you have to spice it up, or it won't be that good.
Yeah,
You
with
know,
with that
like
$80 new DLC, bruh. So Crybuckets
oh,
was
well, that's
telling
another
me,
talk.
she
We're
was
gonna have to
telling
make that
me,
talk.
she was telling me about a dating sim online. Uh, like there's like a dating sim, you pay like $80 or some shit, and you can see through the clothes. It's just like,
Wait,
dog.
they'll have to for like next week about how games shouldn't be $60 anymore because that's terrible.
Well, if
But
they're
then we'll
doing
have to.
digital distribution, and also depends
Oh,
because
then that's fine. Yeah.
I also because like Steam kind of like
See, oh, such a good thing. But
Steam is a good thing, but man, they take a huge cut out. But we can talk about that later. But
yeah.
um, so wait, so we got a question. Can we talk about Nino Kuni 2 being delayed to next year and how sad I am about it?
Oh,
So like this is the case where I'd be like, hey, you'd rather have it delayed.
yeah. Because Neo Kuni 2 is being made by an actual developer, right? Like,
Well, the first one was too,
publishing.
wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. This one's being developed by Level 5, published by Bandai Namco, and that's such a bigger game.
I
Like,
love the first
if,
game, so yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say like that's where the argument of like being rushed and being bad and delayed a good kind of applies because at least that's a full fledged game. Like
Professionals, people who've worked on
professional,
multiple titles.
it's not more than just could be turned down to a bunch of switch statements of like, hey, do this and then keep track. This is like, hey, you got mechanics, you got movement, you got systems you have to keep track of.
They're also not delaying the day of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine what like a bigger game publishing studio was like. Let's say Battlegrounds. I mean, they're kind of indie. That game is
With PUBG?
a lot harder to make. Yeah, PUBG compared to I'm not comparing the two. They're not the same amount of work. PUBG is obviously more work than Dream Daddy. But what if the day they were gonna release was like, hey, um, we're delayed. We're delaying. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Oh, actually, I don't know if PUBG is a good example because already 4 million people has bought it. So if it was delayed, then they're not losing out anything. I'm trying to maybe Destiny 2. All right, that's a good one. What if it was delayed on the day it was being released? Like it'd probably be the
Dude,
similar situation, but on a
people
bigger
people
scale.
would be so freaking mad.
Yeah, but I guess the difference between Destiny 2 and this one, you don't pre-order Dream Daddy, right? No one has actually put money into it.
I think you can on Steam. Let me check right now. Um,
Yeah.
It's gonna be embarrassing to have Dream Daddy Simulator in my.
No, dude, I might actually pick it up, depending on the price.
Oh no, you cannot pre-purchase. So good on
Okay,
them.
so good on
Very
them,
good
yeah.
on them for not trying to
So
like grab
that's a
money.
good. So no one's actually losing money. It was just, I guess, a big controversy just comes down to that's really weird that it delayed on the day of 6 hours later. But since now I know all this, it's just like, well, I guess it's okay. If any, like you said earlier, this is just a really good example of not scoping correctly and uh, just poor management.
Let's see.
TLDR.
Tyson Hesse. I think that's a name I'm familiar with. There's a couple of artists. Actually, there's a lot of artists. There's like 1, 2, 3,
on this
4,
game?
5, 6, 7, and many more. 7 plus unnamed people.
On Dream Daddy?
Yeah.
Cool.
This is on their Steam page that they've listed.
Oh, I can't see it on there. I'm gonna look it up.
Wait, let's see. I don't even know if that's possible considering physical release. Certain physical shops would sell it early for like Destiny 2.
Yeah, no, I don't think Destiny. I'm not saying Destiny would like. Something terrible would have happened for Destiny to be delayed the day of.
That'd
But
be
yeah, if
mad
it's physical
sketch.
distribution, no, it has to come out that day regardless. Or you're gonna have to push back physical distribution, which could cost a lot of money and a lot of hassle.
Yeah.
Game Grumps ever put anything? Has Game Grumps ever put anything out besides? Nope, no. I'm surprised they haven't.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a Sonic artist. Because James is always
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about him. Thank you.
Oh, English only, man. Secret. Yeah, this game won't do it. Like, delayed or not, it's gonna do fine. It's got a big enough fan base. Unless the game isn't funny,
They've
which I don't think that's possible. Depending, since they already have Game Grumps backing it up, I'm sure the fans enjoy the same kind of content.
I think
so.
they'll enjoy like that. Game Grump staff voicing dads
Mhm.
alone will probably be enough reason for people to want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Danny is voicing anyone, but I know Brian Wecht, Ninja Ryan, is voicing one of the dads. That alone would make me play the game, I guess. I just want to date some damn dads.
Date some hot dads.
I just want to date some damn dads.
Like I said, this is nowhere near an issue of like Yawcast games. Oh, that was terrible. Like, if you ever get a chance to read an article,
so in the game, are you dating dads? You're dating the dads, right?
I believe.
Are you also a dad? Because I saw there's a dad creator. So you're a dad dating other dads.
Yeah, you're a dad, and your goal is to meet and romance other hot dads. Like my biggest confusion is that the teaser trailer is cool. I just don't know what this.
Why can't you be a chick to date some of these dads?
No, dude, there is a girl in the game. I see some.
It really doesn't matter to me because I just want to have the experience of dating the dad. I don't care who I am.
Is there a YouTube dating sim somewhere around here? I don't know.
Oh, this looks bad.
How many? Are you looking at the article?
Yeah.
The dad joke is great. Let me look at that real quick. Hell yeah. Hi, Dad. Oh man, how many YouTubers have put out a game? I know PewDiePie put out a game, but that one was actually contracted by a studio. I think a small indie studio. That one did okay. Like, I'm trying to figure out.
Did you read the summary of the stream page in the top corner? It's a dad joke at the end, and it's great.
It's really good.
Oh god.
But I'm trying to figure out. This one is making me be interested. How many YouTubers have actually attempted to put out a game? Because all I can think of is Yawcast, and I was just like, "Oh, that rubs me the wrong way every time."
Hey, by the way,
what's up?
The Dad Simulator. It actually says the developer is the Game Grumps and the publisher is Game Grumps.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
So they're just part of the team.
Like it's Game Grumps development apparently.
I don't know.
Interesting.
So it's interesting. Man, let's see. Yeah, I can't think of a lot of YouTuber. Like, it makes sense. You have a big audience. You can guarantee at least a bunch of sales. Now, but it's up to somebody who's never made it, who their experience is like making videos and stuff, and maybe some art. But actually programming a game is still hard. Even like a dating sim, it's still hard to do. Like, it's not as hard as other things, but if that's your first project, then you got.
They also had like stuff like Angry Video Game Nerd. That game,
I
heard that one was pretty good.
That was actually pretty good. I think it was at RTX. Is he part of Rooster Teeth, or is it just?
No, he's his own thing. Cinemassacre. That's his brand / I guess platform.
$15? Oh, I wouldn't pay more than $15 for a dating sim. So it's really hard for me to pay like $10 for a dating sim.
$15 for that game, dude. It better be damn funny. Like it better make me laugh really hard because like Yeah,
I know. Like it makes sense for it to be $15.
I'll be honest, on a personal note, I do not care for dating sims. I think that it's a lot easier way to make money versus like exploring.
It's not my style.
How much is Hatoful Boyfriend?
Look that up. Hatoful Boyfriend was funny. Let's see.
Not $10.
$10? Yeah, okay, that's fair. Like 15 is kind of pushing it. Like I said, Steam has spoiled me, and we'll have to have a discussion about how much a game should actually cost. But like, Ukulele was a good example. Okay game, at best, okay. I got tricked, my nostalgia kicked in and was like, yo, I love Banjo-Kazooie. I can't wait to support this game. $40, right? I got 3 hours of game time into it until I realized this game isn't good.
Dude, you know what Hatoful Boyfriend reminds me of? Sorry, I don't mean to...
Yeah, they're good.
It reminds me of some Newgrounds era like dating sim shit. Talking about like a Flash game. just
yeah,
like,
so like
stock picture of a fucking bird, and then just like that's the character you're dating.
Yeah, like 15, like games. I don't know. I'm trying to loop it back to like if this game, if Dream Daddy's $15, I'll be kind of upset because like I spent $30 on PUBG and I already have like 100 hours into it. If I spend $50 on like.
Well, then
this
here
Dream
comes.
Daddy, I don't know if I'll be having more than like 2 hours of gameplay. I can't see it more than 2 hours of gameplay.
But here comes perceived value of a game.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Where some games are meant to be highly replayable, and maybe players value that more versus like, I want to play Last of Us, and I just want to play it once for the story experience. You know, that's not really a game you can constantly play back to back.
Like so many games, though. Yeah.
But I agree with you on that. It's just like, okay. Like, I bought FTL for $10. That's like one of the best $10 games I've ever bought in my life.
Yeah, it's perceived value. Yeah, I just don't.
Oh, so that, hey, I like so many bad games back in the day. I thought was good.
When I'm like the average price for a dating sim is like $15, that's okay. Then. That's fair. Like if everything else in that same genre is about the same price, then that's okay. I just, like I said, if it does fine, the only thing that can actually ruin this game is if it's just not good, and I don't see it not being good, pretty much.
See, 600 hours of FTL. It's a good fucking game.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at this house for boyfriend. Features 1080p penguin or pigeons.
That's the only type of pigeon you need, baby. 1080p.
Yeah. Does Dream Daddy have a discussion page? Is there like a forum that? Let me look it up. I still want to see what other people are talking about this, or what are they saying about this? Rock paper shotgun. Oh, a lot of people are just like, it's been delayed. Oh well. Is there a Reddit for it? There is r/Dream Daddy.
The curators for Steam, the gay gamer dads. Finally, a game truly made for the gay dad.
Okay, so not r/GameStop. Nope, it's not really anybody saying anything on Dream Daddy Reddit. How long ago was it released on r/Game Drums? Doesn't really have a lot of things going on there too. I know there are other sites than Reddit, but oh, there you go. See, 31 comments.
By the way, if anyone has any questions about this stuff, feel free to ask in the comment or in the chat.
I'm trying to read transparency. Do you think they were very transparent about their delaying, or do you think this was just more of a damage control thing?
Ooh.
That's a good question, because I'm reading someone who's like, at least they're transparent. And I'm like,
no.
Define transparency.
Well, if you knew what went on behind game development, and I hate saying that because we've been saying that all day. Yo, if you knew what was going on, they're not saying very much.
Helia asks, is there some kind of service charge for Valve for changing the dates? So I don't think so.
No,
Valve's really.
Don't you have to pay money to have your game on Steam first, like the certification?
It depends. Well, the old Greenlight system was you paid $100 to get greenlit, but I think now you actually just pay $100 for them to review it, and it's refundable.
I know, it's unlike PlayStation and stuff. They have like no certification requirements. The game just has to run.
Yeah, it just has to be not malware and stuff. Yeah, it's $100, and it is refundable if your game makes a certain amount. I believe Steam takes a cut. It depends on what the agreement is, but most things I've heard is like 30%. Someone could have lied to me too, so just to keep it NDA, but Steam just takes a cut.
You know what though? That service charge for changing the date. If that was a console title, hell yeah, I expect something like that. You may have to do like a resubmission or like a recert where you have to pay the fucking service fee for that, and that's like somebody's fucking salary for the year kind of money. But you gotta hire the dude for that much.
Yeah. But the reason why people like putting stuff on Steam is Steam does a good job of handling stuff. They just take a good cut, not even a good cut, just like a cut.
I think they take like 30%.
I think it's 30%, unless somebody lied to me. But it is NDA, so it depends on the game too. But yeah, back to the transparency. Yeah, Helia says I don't consider it super transparent. I don't either. Like, it would have been more transparent if they said something earlier.
Like
the biggest issue of everything is just
the
6
stream.
hours after it was
stream.
Yeah,
you streamed and then you just said you can't release the game. That's weird. That's the weirdest fucking thing. Like, it'd been different if they're on stream and then they're like, "Hey, this is the game." And by the way, we're doing the stream to show you the game. And by the way, we were unable to release it tomorrow because we're having some issues. But we were streaming this game to show you that there is a game. And then we have something. We really want to apologize to you guys. Like, that would have been a great opportunity, I think, for Game Grumps. Well, not Game Grumps, but like the developers to just be like, "Hey, my bad, guys. We're not able to release it, but in good faith, this is what the game looks like."
Okay, so the Virgin Shell tweet. We're trying our hardest, but we couldn't tell anyone until we made the decision that it was. So they're making the decision that it was a showstopper.
Dude, showstopper is pretty black and white, in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. It
Yeah,
could
it
be
depends
like
on the thing.
it could be like an edge case, like where
Like it
something
won't.
that like
What
one
if
out
this
of
isn't?
every 1,000 players will actually experience this.
Yeah, like so that's why
But I
it's not
don't
super
know.
transparent because it's like you
That
don't know what the issue is, and it makes sense why they wouldn't say it. It could
edge
be a
case
spoiler or
stuff though
something.
could be patched day one or like day 10 or whatever. Like a couple days later.
Yeah, like I said, it's not super transparent because they just said like game bug. Um, uh, like if it was super severe, I mean, like you said earlier, if you knew what was going on in the backside of game dev, this could make sense, but it's not transparent enough to tell us what the issue is, and it could be a spoiler-related thing. So that could be the reason why they're not saying it. But it doesn't look hot that you were streaming the day before, and then took 6 hours after the release date. Yeah, Helio's correct. It seems really unorganized behind the scenes. Yeah, that's TLDR. Dream Daddy dev team super unorganized. I hope they learn their lesson. I hope they get rest too, but it's just
Oh
they just
yeah,
didn't.
dude. I mean that
They didn't do anything.
they're gonna, and I know I've been told that some of those developers are working on a second game also, and I'm just like,
I hope so.
guys.
Like, I mean, I don't want them. They can if this is good. I want them to make more stuff, but I hope they learn from this. Like, hey, maybe we should be done with the game, not the day of. But it is Steam. You could get away with that. If it was like a console game, ooh, that would have been terrible. There it is. Because like the stress is real. Yeah, I believe like it is. It gets really stressful, especially if you're not sleeping well. But with clever planning, with good planning, you can prevent most crunches.
Hey, did you find this conflicting information thing? Is that what you're talking
Which
about
one?
on Game Grumps subreddit?
No,
Conflicting information on
no.
Ding Dong and Julian's environment or involvement in Dream Daddy, and which both of them said they were testers, and then Susie.
Where's that at?
Yeah,
I mean, they were testers in the past.
well, they said they were, and then they weren't.
Yeah, I guess you're. I guess you can say something.
Like,
and
and I know they're pushing.
true.
They're pushing the whole, hey, this game is a labor of love, and it's like, well,
Oh, that's fair. Yeah,
But-
it is. Everything
but,
is.
like,
I'm assuming.
that's what game development is, unless you're just making tappy chicken. And I mean, what is it? What's that one game that made $50,000 a week, pretty much? Flappy Bird. Tappy
Remember
Chicken
that
is what Unreal did. So Unreal showed off the Unreal 4 engine at GDC, and they're like, we made something called Tappy Chicken because like it was being memed out that all the developers were making fun of Flappy Bird. But yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's labor. of love, but, like, you still have to plan.
It
There's
just-
one big thing in addition that people just wish that wasn't a thing, and it can be prevented if you scope and do things, but at the same time.
I don't
things
ever
happen.
think that saying a labor of love should be an
Oh, no.
excusable. It's an excuse, like not in like that's an excuse. You're stupid, but like it's like yes, that's true, but like that's not really saying anything, unfortunately. And
Mm-hmm.
we understand you guys really care about this game, but like just don't announce a game like that. Announce it when you know you're ready. Like I feel like
Well,
they
even-
had the time to pay for it. I don't know. I don't know what their finances are like. Maybe like money got tied up, and like Aaron is being like that beast CEO of Game Grumps that he's been.
But yeah, Tappy Chicken on the hottest folk in the breakout in 2018. True that. But yeah, it's the marketing was cool. I liked it coming out a month after they announced it, but now that it just pretty much shows that they weren't done. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, even I could have told you that, and that's not good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Hottest-
read through these responses. I want to see what more people are saying. about
Hottest
this.
phone game breakout in 2018. Dude, I forget how like the emotes work in Twitch half the
Oh,
time.
what kind of argument is this?
You know what?
Hold on.
My response to that.
It's just like a. How dare you stream a game you made with your bare hands? Why don't we get to play it first? I don't think anyone say it.
Whoa, okay, that's
Ugh.
whoa. I don't know if that's what anyone, or maybe some
Ugh.
crazy people out there are saying shit like that, but like I don't think.
No,
that's-
it's just one person. I'm just looking at everybody says. Let's see. This is good. Like Captain Sauce says, if you release it broken, people will be pissed. If you delay it, people will be pissed. There's no winning with some people. Yeah, that's fair. That's true. If I was the devs, I mean, I wouldn't have done the 6 hour thing, but regardless of that, I pretty much wouldn't care what people were saying. I'm one of those guys that's just like, yo, let me look at the numbers and the money we're about to make. I don't really care what people with 2 followers have to say about what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to, like, every time I'm on Reddit and my thing's to the front page, I always look down at the meme comments. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how much I don't care about what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think most game developers don't. I'm not speaking on behalf of everybody, but like as much as I do.
Some take it bad, some take it better.
Some take it bad, but like the company itself, like I severely doubt is like, oh no, everybody hates us. Let me reel in the millions of dollars we're making.
Like let me dry up my tears with the millions of dollars I've made, or the billions of dollars.
If you really don't like anything, speak with your wallet. That's like the best way to do anything. Not here's some more here's some more comments on your thing.
I'm gonna buy the game
anyways.
Here's
some more stats. Oh man,
I know. Brian Wecht has been very. He's been saying some stuff on Twitter, I think, about Dream Daddy because of some of the stuff. He said, was it Brian Wecht, Wecht? He's a guy that's okay. So funny enough, he's a theoretical physicist. Yeah. But he left that to continue doing Ninja Sex Party full time, and then he joined the Game Grumps. But he said, please don't beat up on the Dream Daddy team. They've been working like crazy for months now on the game.
That's fair.
The game you get will be fantastic. Also, anyone dismissing the game as a cash grab is 100% wrong. I work next to the devs.
Yeah. I don't think it's a cash grab.
Completely agree. Don't beat people up.
Oh yeah,
I'll agree with that. To say anything else is tremendously insulting to a talented, hardworking group of people who are trying to make the best of the game they can.
Well, I guess
I don't. So I kind of disagree with like to say anything is insulting. I think it's what's insulting is the whoever made the decision to market the game on that release date, or not necessarily marketing, but wherever happened, where like whoever made the decision that yes, we can make this day. And without the proper testing and stuff like that, because a lot of times developers will like wreck their asses off and they'll be working super hard and some shit goes down that's completely not their fault. Someone made a decision or someone didn't do their job or
something happened.
Someone didn't do their due diligence. Maybe like no one's malicious. Just shit happened, and like. You're getting your ass beat on Twitter over shit that was not your fault. So I can understand where a lot of them are coming from. I really wish that game development can sometimes be more transparent in the industry. I know sometimes it's not necessarily the best. It depends, but sometimes I wish it was more transparent so people would understand how it works. So the what is it called? The literacy of the market goes up so people know what they want and they also understand what's happening.
Sorry, I was bringing another comment. When I went to Wex thing, let me link it in the thing. Is this...
Just comment in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, I put it in there. So, replying to Wex thing about like, hey, don't beat them up, that's fair. Like, they're working as hard as ever.
Of course.
And one guy brought up a point, Kevin Cameron, at Hero Gear. The one criticism...
Oh, he does?
So is absurdly tossed around is they should have planned for these bugs in advance. And it's like, do these people understand programming or game devs specifically? You can plan... Yeah, that's fair. You can plan a ton and still have something wrong on the 11th hour. As much as I agree with that, my thing is, why are they working on the game the day of or a week before the game comes out? Like, I understand his argument. His argument is perfectly fine, but I think Kevin's missing out on the point of, like, why are you still working? Like, the product should have been done before the release date. Like, that's the biggest flaw in his argument. Like, it is true that you can't plan for a bug that happened, but at the same time, it shouldn't be in development the day of the game's release. You know what I mean?
See, hell yeah says...
I think if you guys are having...
It's totally acceptable to be like... Yeah.
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 That's like, hell yeah, I think we're saying the same argument. It's like,
yeah,
you shouldn't be on development crunch the day before it releases. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't plan for bugs. I'm not ragging on Kevin. Kevin brings up the correct response, like, hey, no one knows what goes on in game development, so it makes sense that something, like, you can't plan for things to go wrong. But, like, I'm trying to relate it to something real world.
The 11th hour, man, like,
But the 11th hour shouldn't be the hour before the game.
You find the
releases,
showstopper.
Like, that's like, I don't like that argument. Like that, the whole.
Oh,
I'm not,
oh,
like,
you
I'm not trying to
good?
bring them down, but like that could have been all avoided if it was a proper development team. Not even a proper development team, just like correct. If this was done correctly, and if I guess there's a lack of experience might be the thing, but like if the development should have been done, not the day of or the week of, and then maybe things came up and I had to push things to make development keep going. But that, I mean, that's not a good excuse. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I'm not gonna be like, hey, I want to make it. I want to make another pizza's metaphor.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep doing the
Uh,
whole pizzas thing,
Oh,
but
sorry,
it
but
works.
pizza. Let's say your expected delivery date is like 9:45. Like how would you feel if the pizza maker at 9:44 was like, "Hey, still putting on the pepperonis, haven't cooked it yet." And it's just like, I'm not saying this is as hard. This isn't the same. It can't be related to game development, but it's like a similar topic. Like, hey, we're still putting the cheese on the pizza, but it's supposed to come out in a minute. How would you feel about it? Like, that's not.
I think
Like,
the principle is, hey, we're gonna do this, and then they didn't.
yeah,
They
and
will eventually do it.
they will eventually do it. That's
But
fair.
they
Yeah,
they
that
didn't
things
they
happen.
didn't meet because no, they didn't promise. But to be honest, there's a saying that say, "Don't make promises, just do what you say."
Yeah, that's
And
true.
it's kind of an agreement or a promise when you say, "Hey, we're gonna release this game on this day. Be excited for the Dream Daddy
Mm-hmm.
Simulator, a Daddy Simulator game." And then the day of, oh, it's not coming out.
Yeah, no, that's
And
still. If it was before the day of, it's still bad. But like, at least it wasn't 6 hours in the day of.
I don't like that people are like, you can't say anything. Don't be so hard on us.
Oh yeah, no.
Be easy on us, guys.
Fanboyism at its like the hive mind fanboy stuff is terrible.
And even
it's okay to like your favorite YouTubers, but please, as much as I hate saying this, they do care about you. But at the end of the day, they don't really care about you. And
Well,
I'm
they
not
don't-
saying Game Grumps doesn't care
like
about
they
their fans.
they care,
But,
but
like-
they don't like care about you the way that they would care about like we're friends
Yeah.
in real life. So I care about you as my friend. It's not really
Yeah.
the same thing,
Defend them on a level of, hey, I want to support your content. Don't defend them on a level of, they're my friend.
right?
And I'm like, they're not really. That's what I'm seeing in these arguments. I'm not saying it's bad. It is the reason why a lot of people can make money off YouTube is they form those kind of relationships with their viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as much as I do agree with Kevin. The obvious and the counterpoint that ends the argument is just like, why was this done the day of? And that's like pretty much any criticism is fine, but it all leads back to it was delayed 6 hours on the day of. It's like it's kind of hard for me. It's kind of hard to defend. Well, not defend, but like accept that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that I just don't like. Well, it's game development, so that's my pass.
Mhm.
Well, you can never plan for these things. Well,
You can. It's called
well,
planning.
how do a ton of other companies do it? Not as Effect Andromeda, but like how do a ton of other companies
That's really for that
release
game.
passable games? I mean, that game was passable when it got released, and they fixed a lot of the issues, but the game was like fine.
Yeah.
Ish. It was
Like-
fine enough. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other companies out there to illustrate the point, and I'm talking indie companies. Like when Bastion first came out, great release. When Transistor came out, really good release from like Supergiant.
Mm-hmm.
Like how are all these other companies consistently
They're
able
consistently doing
to
it,
make
yeah.
these deadlines?
Mhm.
But game development is hard, and
But
so
it's the lack of experience still.
you obviously
a
can
bunch of
tell what my
people-
opinion is. Like I'm just like that's not a pass. That is not acceptable. I think that's unacceptable as a dev to think that way because if you think that way, then you will be like,
Setting a
well,
standard.
you know, we'll
it's not
understand. It's just
my
game
fault.
development,
I'm going to manipulate my fans as saying it's not my fault.
or
And,
just
like,
hey,
well, they're not manipulating. I'm not saying Dream Daddy's manipulating.
but like it's just like that's never okay.
That's not okay. Yeah, this.
How does that happen with movies, man? Shit goes down with movies all the time.
Dude,
Like
so
Harrison
much
Ford
money.
broke his leg during like filming Star Wars, and they still got it out in time. You know?
Yeah, I guess what we're trying to say it's like what happened here is like we understand.
Mhm.
It's not I will argue on the point that it's not acceptable. I'm not saying they don't need rest or anything, but
No.
as a practice, this is not acceptable in any situation. I don't care if you're a two-person team. I don't care if you're a large studio. Like if you're say, like what I'm seeing from here, this is all based on some like they're not being transparent enough to let me know what's going on, which is fair. This is their personal stuff, but like you said, this is coming out on this day. and based on my past in game development, because like what we were saying here is, I think it's the lack of experience from everybody.
Yep.
Like imagine people
Or management
commenting on, yeah, like the arguments being said in these tweets are like, imagine a group of people watching football, but they don't know how football works, and they're like trying to talk about like, hey, why didn't he do this? Or
Well,
I'm
we
trying
do.
to find a good. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Well, we do. We know how football works. And I
Yeah.
mean, I'd like to think
Well, I'm
that's
not
the point
saying,
of the stream, but
Our opinions better than anybody else's. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, but
no, but we have more informed opinions. Just
Yeah.
put frankly, and
And
hopefully maybe
I would love to hear from
somebody will see it and be like, oh, interesting.
yeah, like I would be up for any discussion. I would love to see a dev talk about this too. Like, hey, how do you feel about this? But yeah, it's just like I'm trying to read more into these things. Like like I said, it's interesting to see the end user's point of view on what's going on, especially from people who don't know what they're not don't know what they're talking about in a bad way. Just like they don't have any experience with it. And let's see. Y'all should be sorry. I just read this tweet from Shannon Colbert. Y'all should be appreciative that they're going back to fix the bugs to make it better. That's true. That's a
Yeah, I
fair
mean, at
statement to say.
least they're not like being like, well, fuck it, they'll deal with it. Game's good enough. Fuck you guys. You know, just don't do this one edge case or whatever the issue is.
Or here's another Commander Bun. I like that name. Modern folks tend to be impatient, especially with anything revolving around tech. Especially the problems, it's a problem, especially in the gaming industry. People need to learn that patience to go a long way. Games that are pushed out quickly tend to be worse. I don't like that argument because we're going back to the fact of why say you're going to put something out on this day and not it coming out on that day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for delaying a game to make it better, but there's no guarantee that it's going to be better. You know what I mean? Like, we all saw Night at Number 9. Like, you can delay the game as far out as you want. It doesn't mean it's still going to be a good game. And I guess this would have been an okay argument if this wasn't announced the day of. Oh, do you get the dogs in my mic? Someone's going.
Oh,
ham
you
back there.
good? You good? There's just some
Okay.
dog fighting in the back. It's all fine.
That's fine. You know what I do. But like,
That's what I'm about.
if it wasn't like all these arguments would have been okay if it wasn't for the fact that they delayed the day of 6 hours later, and apparently they were streaming the night before as opposed to working on the game.
Yeah.
And like, it's not even harsh criticism on their practice. I'm not saying they're bad people. It's just like one big I could have told you that kind of thing. And anybody with some experience would have been like, I could have told you that not to do that.
Yeah, pretty much. I watch us go from this and becoming contract QA people, like where we just go around like building
I
test
could've
plans
told
for
you that.
people's indie games, and just telling them how to go about it. It'd be like, all right, well if you know, then how about you fucking tell us how to bug these or test these games? Put more money where our mouth is.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to relate this to other things that aren't video games. Like, yeah, pizza again. If I was expecting this pizza on this time and they tell me it's not going to come out for another 6 hours, of course I'm going to be upset. Like, I'm not going to be like, yo, you're a bad worker. I'm just like, what? Why didn't you tell me that earlier? Kind of thing. And I'm sure everybody.
Hey, see you
Alright,
around, see you around, Steve.
Like, it's understandable criticism. I don't like it when people hate on constructive or understandable criticism. It's just like, oh, I'm trying to just defend my friend. I'm not going to listen to anybody's point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
And,
to summarize this, since we kind of like
sorry,
we're almost an hour and a half,
My bad.
but no, you're good. No, we're just talking. We're like go through it. But to summarize this, let's just end with this.
Okay.
What could they have done to like and we've already gone over these points, but what could they have done definitively to avoid some of this weird sketchiness, this weirdness?
Like, my answer is announce the delay, not the day of.
Okay.
And that's pretty much like, that's the first thing. You're like, oh, hell yeah, I got some constructive criticism in the chat, y'all.
Yo, Lewis, you lame.
That's true. I accept that criticism. It's fair.
When a man plays
yeah.
Winston with bananas, what did you expect?
So like I guess I have two answers to that. The first, the major big thing, which is the fact that they announced the delay the day of. That to me is the counterpoint to any well, I wouldn't say to any argument, but most arguments of, hey, they didn't expect this. Like, a lot of things could have been solved if this was handled not the day of. Maybe even the day before, it would have been fine. But it shows up as like, hey, what? It stems from, to my second point, of mismanagement and not proper scoping. And that happens a lot to a lot of indie studios, like indie dev teams. It happens. You'll have more experience. Well. It happens in AAA as well.
Yeah.
But AAA, if you mess up real good, and your company goes downhill. But at least for an indie team, they're going to learn. Hopefully they learn. If they get anything out of this, this should be, maybe we should content lock, we should content lock before the game goes out. And maybe they did content lock. Maybe they just didn't test.
Maybe
very
they
well.
did all of it right, and
maybe they did all of it right and something went wrong. Either way,
and if that's the case,
the delay on the
they need to well maybe they really did find out and left out. Let's say everything they said was true.
Maybe they did work their asses off, which is true.
The only criticism I have is that really test the game.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out a system in which you can have full confidence in your game. I don't know if this is like proprietary or anything. Like for me, like this technique I use is where you have bugs, how I reported bugs, like and how often you're reporting bugs versus how often they're being fixed.
Oh yeah, I know.
And once they're being fixed way faster than they are being reported, like significantly faster. I call it build confidence. I'm doing the okay hands. The build confidence. Once build confidence is really high, then and only then could you perhaps then give definitive dates. Unless like you're super confident you can get the shit done. And I'm surprised that a dating sim has this issue. So if let's say they're doing everything they're supposed to and they did what you said, Lewis, that would be the thing I would do. Is the criticism is you guys need to learn to account for things that cannot be accounted. Expect the unexpected.
And saying that's hard to do isn't fair because everybody else is doing it.
People do it all the fucking time.
So like,
yeah, you gotta build confidence. Build confidence. That pun.
Amazing Models is correct.
Mind blown.
Not too much marketing and not enough QA. Yeah, I don't know what the QA team over there is. It might just been one person. That's fine. But
or
like,
maybe they didn't have any.
Maybe they didn't have any too, but like that's still not an excuse because a lot of other people have done it too. And that's my base. And I'm not saying they didn't work very hard, but there are indie teams that have built larger, more detailed games.
So my boy who was just in here, Steve, who made Interspace, no dedicated testers, but hey, again, I've been told from what I've seen before, build confidence is pretty high. So it can be done.
Yeah, like
it can be done.
As if I was the Dream Daddy team, I don't know what's going on over there, but based off my past experience, I would have not announced the delay the day of. Definitely would have been on the stream the day before if I wasn't super confident in the build.
Yeah.
And at this point on, I probably wouldn't say anything because I wouldn't. I'm not a big fan of damage control because that makes it sound like you're not owning up to what you're saying. But at the same time, I'll just get some rest and focus on fixing what's going on and hopefully have it out by July 15th.
And while you're fixing these things, test the shit out of it, brother, because I promise you, you're going to have more bugs.
It's going to happen. But yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for talking with me about this.
We should do this more often.
Yeah.
There's a ton of things going on in the gaming industry that needs to be talked about.
No one ever talks about it. Like, there was like small articles on this, but like, I feel like this is a bigger topic than
than it
really was actually.
This would be a really good, like, if somebody wanted to write extra credits or like it'd be a really good thing to talk about.
Oh my God, Alex Bauer! Oh my God, I was just talking about that today or the other day at work. Oh my gosh, dude. That shit's crazy. Cynical Brit got involved in that on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that shit's crazy. The Reddit lawyer, the copyright lawyer, got involved in that shit too. That was crazy. Anyways, I'm sorry. Continue, Lewis.
No,
but you were saying saying that this isn't talked about
enough. Thing to tell other indie developers, like, hey, this is a good example of what you shouldn't do. We're not going to bash your daddy's team, but like, you shouldn't be working on a game. And it's something you learn when you once finally join the industry. It's like, hey, there's practices called content locking, and I mean, not all deadlines are meet, but like you want to reach milestones of like vertical slices, horizontal slices.
Perhaps
to
we
make
can talk about these topics specifically as talking points.
Definitely.
Like maybe we can do this in the future where we have we talk about like an incident or something, and then we can bring in a game development praxis where it applies, like content log.
Like content logging.
We could, like, when No Man's Sky came out, we could have talked about feature bloat.
Feature bloating.
Feature bloating, where you just have too much shit going on. Stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a fun talk.
Hey, boy.
I feel like my 2 cents of No Man's Sky, not to derail the topic, was like I feel like Sony might have screwed them over, because like it seemed like they were just small of an indie team, and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna make this a console exclusive," and just hype the hell out of it. And I was like,
dog.
"Oh, that team."
They were the one that decided to sign the contract, so.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's kind of hard as an indie studio to be like, "No, I'm not trying to take this money," but at the same time, you can't say the game's gonna have multiplayer and not have multiplayer. That's just what I.
Yeah.
It's just a good practice. What I follow by. I don't know, man. I don't know about y'all.
But anyways, thank you for those of you guys who joined us and listened to us. I mean, there are a few of you, but and hell yeah, thanks for interacting. Good stuff really good stuff was brought up.
No, yeah, good stuff. I would love to do. We got to start doing this more often. We disclaimer work at the same place, so.
Yeah,
we can at least plan things out at a time.
We did talking about stuff once a week. And maybe occasionally I'll play Overwatch with him while he plays Doomfist with his new boxing glove. If you guys haven't seen that shit, he has a boxing glove.
Like you and your partner and us over here, we can do like 4-player fun times. That'd be really fun.
Yeah,
get some PUBG squads going.
And if you guys want to join us, or you and your girlfriend and me and my partner in crime on Double Act, we can play some PUBG together.
Yeah, we'll definitely do this more in the future. Yeah.
Anyways, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna end the stream now.
See ya. Thanks for hanging out.